Hello there, today we are going to take a look at yet another project, which is going to be VenVuu, but before we go into detail, as always I need to remind you of one important thing, which is that I am no financial advisor, and as always you should do your own research by clicking the links provided in the description down below, because everything that I will talk about in this video will be linked down there. And with that said, let's jump right into the project. VenVuu is a project which tries to give landowners the opportunity to create more or less passive income by placing ads on their properties. And before we go on their website and check out how this will work exactly, let me give you a short background story about this project, because obviously you can see that we are talking about VenVuu, but VenVuu is powered by DeadChat. And sadly though, since DeadChat is a pretty big project in itself, I cannot cover this in this video, but maybe there will be a specific video about DeadChat in the future. But since this is a very important detail of this project, I sum this up in like one sentence. DeadChat is a blockchain and cybersecurity company which was founded in 2014, and their goal is to protect your privacy not only on your devices but also on the internet, in which all of us are using dozens of websites each and every week, and we don't know what is done with our private informations on their websites. But as I said, we cannot go into further detail about DeadChat since this would take a separate video. Let's go into further detail about VenVuu by going on their website. So as I said, VenVuu is a Metaverse advertising and NFT monetization platform. And the way they want to achieve this is by utilizing the VenVuu dynamic content, which is the name of their NFT, which will probably some kind of billboard which you can place on your property. Because most people see Metaverse land as an investment and not utilizing it at all, which in my opinion isn't the best way to look at your investment, because just think about all those billboards in real life. People are paying big money to place their ads on billboards owned by a company, which are then placed on someone's property. In the case of VenVuu though, you would own the NFT and the property and can choose what kind of ads you want to place on your property. And right now, just by looking at the big four metaverses which are out there right now, there are more than 268,000 parcels, which in my opinion don't get used a lot right now. But this will change in the near future. And regarding the fact that a plot of land in, Sandbox for example, costs a couple of ETH, you can also buy one of those VenVuu dynamic NFTs, which costs 0.15 Ethereum in the pre-sale, and already pull some profits from your property. And what I really like about this project is the sheer convenience, because if you are an advertiser or you want to monetize something, the only thing you gotta do is to click on Earn Now and pre-register right now. And the team behind this project will then send you all the information you need and when you need to do whatever via email. And what I am a big fan of is convenience. And this is what they are delivering, because landowners have an easy and consolidated way to decide which campaigns to run to generate revenue from their holdings. So probably advertisers will be able to send you inquiries and you can then decide if you want to advertise this on your property, meaning that you don't need to advertise trash if you don't want to. And as I said before, VenVuu is owned and operated by DeadChat, which is also the patent holder of Nasdaq DEADS. And now let's take a look at their roadmap to see what this project has planned for the future. So first of all, in November 2021, the idea was born, followed by the start of the programming in December 2021. In January 2022, they then acquired the Avia Security Corp, and in March 2022, their website was launched and the pre-sale registration has begun. The mint was initially planned to take place in April 2022, but it was postponed and now it takes place on the 9th of May, which is just in a couple of days from now. Also in May, they want to do community events for landowners, advertisers and NFT holders. In June, they want then to start the first paid ad campaign on the VenVuu platform to open it to other advertisers. In July, agency partners will then be revealed, and I believe the yellow parts are things they are working on right now, and the grey things are just planned right now and not being worked on right now. So in Q3 2022, they have planned to invite ad agencies and take a look at their capabilities and opportunities. Besides this, they also want to upgrade the VenVuu NFT to create 3D images and wearables, followed by the launch of rentable NFTs, meaning that you don't need to own the NFT, but you could still, if you want to, place ads on your property by renting one of those NFTs for a specific time period, for example. And lastly, at the end of this year in Q4, the company will drop its second VenVuu reusable and revenue producing NFT, which probably also will be some kind of advertising thingy, but we don't know for sure yet. Next up, let's take a look at the team, because all of them are listed right here. And as you can see, for example, the founder and CEO of this company is Darren Myman. And I have to admit that Myman is a pretty cool name. Besides his cool last name, you can also see that quite a big number of people are working on this project. And most of these peeps have some pretty nice profile picture, which probably represents themselves. And I don't know how she looks, but we live in the 21st century, so she can do whatever she wants. If you would like to read more about those people and check out the company in itself, you can also take a look at their LinkedIn, which I will also link in the description down below. But here you can see it briefly, and they also post all the updates right here, so you can read through it if you don't like to use Twitter, which I don't know why you wouldn't, but I'm just saying you could. And now lastly, let's take a look at the benefits you can expect from this project. So as I said, you can pre-register right now. If you are an advertiser or a landowner, doesn't matter, you can do by clicking the pre-register button right here. But the important thing that I want to talk about is on the bottom of their website. And this part right here is pretty similar to what I have mentioned when I was talking about this project at the beginning of this video. But to sum this up quickly, you as a landowner have the opportunity to get revenue almost immediately. And the only thing you gotta do to do so is to have one of those VenVuu dynamic NFTs sitting in your wallet, which gives you the opportunity to getting paid for advertising brands. And now lastly, to finish this website up, let's take a look at the FAQ, in which you can quick check for some important questions you might ask yourself right now. Like for example, when will the mint begin? The mint will be at the 9th of May 2022 at 1 PM PST, and the price for one of those in the pre-sale will be 0.15 Ethereum and at the public sale for 0.2 Ethereum each. And for those of you who aren't into crypto already or just don't have an ETH wallet, you can also buy one of those VenVuu dynamic NFTs using your credit card and a normal transaction, which to be honest is something I haven't seen in the crypto space yet. And one important thing that hasn't been mentioned on their website, I believe, is how you will receive your earnings. And the answer for that is that you can be paid in ETH, USDC or via PayPal, which is pretty convenient in my opinion. And now after we went through the entire website, lastly, let's take a look at their Discord. Because as I always say, Discord is probably the single best way to keep up to date with almost every project. And what I generally do when I find a project that I am really interested about, I normally mute the entire Discord except for the announcement channel, because this is the one where all the important informations and updates get posted. Most of the time, besides the announcement channel, it's also worth to take a look at the sneak peek channel, because this is where you can find what you are diving into and what vision the project has. Here for example, we can find how one of those NFTs would look like, and this specifically would be one of those ads you can place on your property in the Metaverse. And in their whitelist info channel, you can find a different variety of things you can do to receive one of those whitelist spots, which will not only give you the lowered price of 0.15 Ethereum for one of those NFTs, but you will also probably get the NFTs more or less guaranteed. And the ways you can get one of those whitelist spots are listed right here. The first one would be collaborations and partnerships. And since there are quite a lot of collaborations, I will not go into all of those, but just to mention some of those, let me show you some articles. First of all, we got collaboration with Yakushima Corp. Next up, we got a collaboration with AVTR Studio Taipei. And lastly, House of Kiba, which in my opinion is also the most interesting of those, but that's just my opinion since I am interested in House of Kiba, but for you, it might be AVTR Studios Taipei. But let's go back to the Discord and check out what else you can do to get one of those precious whitelist spots. So for example, you can take part in public raffles, you can be active in the Discord, for which you can then be nominated to get a whitelist spot, you can take part in Discord raffles or Twitter giveaways, and lastly, which is probably for me at least the most important one, is the influencers part right here. Because the team behind VenVuu was kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you some of those whitelist spots. And the only thing you gotta do to receive one of those whitelist spots is to click on the pinned comment below this video and give me the informations asked for in the Google Docs file. And you obviously also need to join their Discord, and if you haven't already, I would also recommend you to follow them on Twitter. Which sadly though brings us to the end of the video, in which I once more want to remind you that this is no financial advice and you should, as always, do your own research because at the end of the day, I am just a random person talking about stuff that I can see on my screen. So please click the links provided in the description down below. And with that said, have a nice rest of your day.